Hello everyone, I am Derek. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about a question typed in the Duolingo English test that a lot of students struggle with. The read, then speak task. I know many of you get really nervous when you reach this part. Why? Because when that 90-second timer starts, your mind just goes blank. You have no idea what to say. And the worst part is, you are not allowed to take notes during the whole test. Even if you have some ideas in your head, it's really hard to organize them clearly, right? Don't worry. Today I'm going to teach you a universal template that you can use for almost any question in this part, and it'll help you deal with these problems easily. Let's first take a look at what this template looks like. It's actually pretty simple and mainly consists of several parts. The first part is stating the topic. It's like when you are chatting with someone, you need to first tell them what you are going to talk about. You just say, okay, I am going to talk about, and then add the key word from the question. For example, if the question asks about the best celebration you've ever attended, you just say, okay, I am going to talk about the best celebration I ever attended. It's that simple. Just clearly state the topic so that the examiner knows right away what you are going to talk about. The second part is expanding your view. This is like having a chat with a friend and slowly sharing your thoughts. First, you can set the background. You say when it comes to, then add the key word of the topic, and then say people have different ideas due to different experience. Translated, it means when it comes to this thing, because people have different experiences, their ideas vary, then you need to state your own opinion. You say, personally, I believe that, and then add your personal view. Also, the question may ask some other small questions. At this time, you can use meanwhile or also to mention the answers to these questions along the way. The third part is sharing a personal story. This is the key to making your answer more outstanding. You say, I want to share my perspective because this topic brings me back to the last time, and then add an experience related to this topic. Then describe this experience in detail. Then say, which offered me new insights, which means this activity gave you new insights. Then say, it was at that time that I learned that, and then tell what you learned from this experience. And say that experience was truly precious because, and then explain why this experience is precious to you. After sharing the personal story, you can also add some counter-arguments to make your view more in-depth. You say, despite the opposing idea that, and then say some opposite views that others might have. Then say, I am convinced that, and then state your own position. Finally, say, overall, it is obvious that, and summarize your overall view. Next, let's do 2 example questions to see how this template works in real questions. The first question, talk about the best celebration you ever attended. Who was there? What were the people celebrating? What made this celebration so special? The question asks about the best celebration you've ever attended and also asks who was there, what they were celebrating, and why this celebration was so special. When you get this kind of question, you should first think of a specific celebration, like a celebration for a success, an anniversary, a birthday party, etc. Then think of the answers to these additional questions, like who was there, what they were celebrating, and why this celebration was special to you. Once you've thought of these, you can use the template we just mentioned. Here is a sample answer. Okay, I'm going to talk about the best celebration I ever attended. When it comes to meaningful celebrations, people have different ideas due to different experience. Personally, I believe that my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary party is the most special. I want to share my perspective, because this topic brings me back to the last time I attended the wedding anniversary party. I joined a special family reunion with all my relatives about 2 years ago, which offered me new insights. It was at that time that I learned that true joy comes not from how spectacular an event is, but from the sincerity and love shared among people. That experience was truly precious because I understood the real meaning of celebration. Despite the opposing idea that well-organized public celebrations can bring people more joy, I am convinced that personal celebrations often carry deeper emotional value because they strengthen bonds between Loved ones, overall, it is obvious that the anniversary celebration is filled with genuine emotion and personal significance. Got it? Let's see the second question. Describe a hobby or other activity that you do in your free time. What is the activity? What do you enjoy about it? How did you learn to do this activity? This question asks you to talk about a hobby or activity you like to do in your free time. You need to say what the activity is, what you enjoy about it, and how you learn to do it. First, think of a hobby, like singing, dancing, painting, taking photos, etc. Then prepare the keywords for the answers to these questions, like why you like this hobby, how you started learning it, and what the learning process was like. Once you've thought of these, you can use the template. Let's see a sample answer. Okay, I am going to talk about my hobby of landscape photography. When it comes to a hobby people do during spare time, people have different ideas due to different experience. Personally, I believe that landscape photography is a truly rewarding hobby, which I learned through workshops. I want to share my perspective because this topic brings me back to the last time I went out to capture the sunrise near a lake. I joined a one-day photography workshop about 2 years ago, which offered me new insights. It was at that time that I learned that photography is less about the camera and more about seeing the world differently. That experience was truly precious because it taught me patience and observation. Despite the opposing idea that some hobbies can be expensive or time-consuming, I am convinced that photography can be practiced anywhere as long as one has a keen eye. Overall, it is obvious that landscape photography is a hobby that combines art, nature, and mindfulness in a unique way. With this template, doesn't the question about read, then speak seem less daunting? After watching this video, you may find several read, then speak questions and try to answer them using this template. After practicing several times, you'll definitely become more fluent. That's all for today. See you next time.